Welcome to the Sunday rune and card readings. I'm Jenny Florence. Guys, welcome back to those of you who've been following my readings and are part of this amazing community that we are building. Guys, you're on the pathway of spiritual warriors, listening to your sharing. I mean, thank you so much for the shares, the likes, and the comments, but really the sharing of your journeys. I am blown away by your honesty, your integrity, your support of one another. Guys, you absolutely are amazing. It's inspirational to listen to how people are navigating life challenges. And, you know, guys, just let's face it, we're human. It's sort of, I think, part of why we're here. We all face tough stuff sometimes. And it's often the tough stuff that helps us to grow the most, but it's so hard when you're in the thick of it. So for those of you that have been sharing your journey, I mean, I am just blown away, so thank you. Your integrity really shines through. It's a huge inspiration. Anyone new to this channel, this community, I'm Jenny Florence. There's information about me in the box below. There's also information about the stuff that I do. I put a lot of free resources into the world. I'm really about helping people to navigate life from a position of awareness, conscious free will and choice, you know, knowing that we are involved in manifesting our lives and kind of working out how on earth we do that. So that's very much my own pathway. I also offer a free reading to one of my subscribers every month, so just do check out the information box if you're new to the channel. Guys, I had a magical walk yesterday in the forest, as you can probably tell by the sort of energy that's sitting with each of the readings. Sometimes, you know, I'll be drawn to crystals or stones and they bring a certain flavour, which help us to, I think, sit with our intuition in working out, you know, whether it's reading 1, reading 2, reading 3, or an amalgamation of some of them that we're drawn to, or even a different one at a different time of the week. But today, from my walk yesterday, I was really drawn to the energy of certain trees. Obviously, ivy's not a tree, but so much a part of the forest energy. And I just want to assure you as well, I never take any piece of a tree without asking permission first. You can tell when you sit with a tree if they are willing to gift some aspect of a little piece of themselves to you. And so I need to say, just to reassure you, that everything here was gifted with an awareness that their energy was coming into these readings. We have ivy, which, as I said, is not strictly speaking a tree, but so much an integral part of forest community life. We have a piece of willow, which I have bound into a circle, and we have some stunning oak leaves. You can see they're just on the turn. Here in the UK, we are heavily into autumn, and the leaves are dropping. Interesting, the energy of this particular piece, beautiful leaves, just beginning to move into a space of winter reflection. So I'm going to say just a little bit about the energy that these were gifted with, the messages that they came with, and, you know, hopefully that will assist you in being drawn to the reading that is right for you. We'll then, of course, do the readings and see what the cards and the runes show. I shuffle, I dowse to see which packs we're using, I draw them, lay them out, and then, of course, I turn them over one reading at a time. You know, they're as new to me as they are to you. Ivy is all about relationship. It's not just about community, and, you know, ivy, when it is surrounding a tree, will assist that tree in providing homes, community for, you know, hundreds and hundreds, literally, of animals, creatures, insects. But it's interesting because it is about relationship. Ivy doesn't sort of live well on its own. It lives in balance and harmony, thriving from being intrinsically connected to the tree. When they are in balance, they provide nurture. As I said, they provide community, they provide safety. If they are out of balance and the ivy takes over, then it can literally destroy a tree. It can suck the life out of it. It's like, it's the equivalent of a codependent relationship in our terms. So ivy speaks of relationship and of the need to achieve a healthy balance of what I would call that healthy interdependency, where we are neither not sort of so independent that we are isolated and not connected to supporting and helping one another, or indeed so codependent that we cling. So that's the energy of ivy. Willow. Beautiful. Again, you can just see the autumn coming into this piece. The leaves are, there were very few leaves left, but of course willow is so bendable. Now, this is not a weeping willow. Weeping willows are associated with loss and bereavement, grieving, the need sometimes to allow something to pass in order for something new to emerge. But willow is associated with emotions. The roots will find water. They spread outwards further than, I think, any other tree. Their energy is of the feminine emotion. It's quite akin to the moon in many ways. There's a depth of emotion. And for those of you that are looking for love, and again, you need to do this with the tree's permission. It doesn't involve taking anything from a tree. But if you are walking and you find a willow tree, you ask them if they are willing to support you in your seek for love. If you tie a piece of willow into a circle like this, but on the living tree, you don't remove it. So literally you wrap it around, but on the living tree. And as I said, ask the tree for help. And you can wish them to hold the energy of searching for love, searching for that soulmate, deep emotional connection. And they will hold that energy for you. When you find love, you need to return to that tree with a gift, thank them for what they have been doing for you, and unwrap that, release them from the promise that they made to you on your request. And as I said, take something with them as a gift. Interestingly enough, you can, if you are processing grief and you are with a willow tree, you can do the same. You can tie into a circle like this, asking for support to process the bereavement, the loss. And when you reach a space where you are ready to move fully back into life again, ready for new relationships, new opportunities, because that person has you've been able to let go of them. I always think the art of grieving is about being able to sort of both hold on to someone and let go of them at the same time. It's how we process loss. We hold on to the memory of someone. As I said, this isn't a weeping willow, but I'm talking you through that. You would untie that when you are ready to move on, when you are free to move to a new relationship. And that's the energy and the gift of a weeping willow. Then we have this beautiful piece of oak, just beginning to turn into autumn colours. The grandfather of the forest, the wisdom. This is a tree of ancient wisdom. It's a tree of witness. It's often a tree that the energy of it allows us to get still, to become witness to our own journey, to become witness to the evolution of time. If you are seeking guidance, if you're confused, again, always ask permission, but sitting under an oak tree for meditation will often bring you the answers that you need, the kind of visions that you need. Very powerful energy. Also very powerful at this time of year. Obviously, we're in the UK, so we're in the autumn. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you're in a different space. But the energy of this particular piece of oak it's connected to reflection, to being a witness, to being an observer, to getting still. That's the kind of energy. It'll be very interesting in each of the readings to see what the cards show up. So guys, without further ado, let's move to the readings. The timings are on the screen now. They are also in the information box below, so you can fast forward to whichever reading is right for you. Guys, just so much love to you, and I am blown away by all of you and the way you are navigating your lives, your interest in and your desire in walking that pathway of the spiritual warrior. So really, truly, big respect, so much love. Welcome to reading number 1. So let's first of all look at our runes. We have the rune of Gateway, And we have the rune of fertility, new beginnings. It's interesting, this is an energy that's often akin to the moon. There's a need for, this is fascinating, connecting in with the ivy. There's a yearning to connect, to harmonise, to connect within relationships. So very interesting. It also suggests a new pathway, as does the rune of gateway. Now the rune of gateway speaks of, it's like a rune of non-action. It says take your time before making a commitment and walking forwards. Given the Mercury retrograde energy that we are currently in, this rune says take time to reflect. It gives a little story. It says, you know, if you can imagine yourself walking to the top of a mountain or a hillside, stand there and glance back over the journey of your entire life, everything it took to get you to where you are today. When you have contemplated that and truly understood the learning that you have been gifted with up until now, walk through the gateway then. We are talking new beginnings here, a new pathway. Interestingly enough, this rune also speaks of the completion of beginnings. It sometimes talks about, it's kind of you've started something, but you're needing to complete the first chapter. If I was writing a book, I might have either completed the first chapter or completed the introduction, and I need to pause and reflect, again, interestingly enough, before proceeding. Something needs to be completed in order to move forwards, and reflection, I would say, is required on your part in order to do that effectively and to free the pathway to move forwards. There is a strong connection here to relationship as well. It's not just the energy of ivy. There's something about the way we are drawn to certain people. It may be you're in my words are going. It may be you're in an initial phase of relationship and something is needing to be completed to move forwards. There may be an important conversation to have. I don't know, but that's the energy that's around. I'm going to place these runes over here. Okay, let's just spread that out, and we'll turn over our cards and we'll lay them all out. Okay, this is interesting. I'll connect in with these in a moment, the Art of Manifestation cards. First of all, I'm just literally going to turn them all over so that we can see everything that we are looking at. Oh wow, guys, this is very significant to relationship, as is this, and new beginnings, and believe and trust. Okay. This is a powerful reading for a weekly one. Okay, guys, wow is what I want to say. So we have this card of change. In fact, let me hold these up here. The card of change and the card of wealth. It's really interesting. Wealth is a card of evaluation. This is connecting into the energy of the runes. And the card of change speaks of relationship. It speaks of the need for something within relationship to be transformed. We have two yin-yangs surrounded by the snake of transformation. But what the snake of transformation is doing in this image is separating them. They're still connected. They are still completely in harmony. They are still completely balanced. But they are separated. This is like the image of that healthy interdependence that I was speaking about at the beginning, that Ivy acknowledges. A healthy relationship being two separate, independent people who harmonise, balance and support one another. The card of wealth asks you to work out what wealth truly means to you. What are you looking for? What do you desire? What are you striving for? Very interesting energy. You're asked to be evaluating. There's some aspect of relationship that is needing to be evaluated in order to create a pathway and a new beginning. We then have a message from Archangel Michael, believe and trust. Before going to sleep tonight, say, Archangel Michael, please enter my dreams and replace fear with faith and trust. Let me be filled with strength, courage and confidence. This is very interesting. I'm hearing a message that says for some of you maybe there's an insecurity that's been touched in a relationship. There is maybe a fear that someone might leave. There's a difficulty in handling. It is to do with insecurity. Maybe somebody is needing to, it's almost like the story outline that I'm hearing as a, it's not how it will necessarily be for you guys, but as an illustration, is almost if you're in a relationship with someone and they have to work away. You know, can you trust them when you're apart from one another? Can you trust that they really, really do love you? That can you believe in yourself that you are important enough to be loved? So very, very powerful energy here. If there's a resolution possible in terms of travelling inwards. We then have the card of the counsellor. Empathic, wise. It's a time of questions though. You know, 7 of water, emotions are involved here. It asks you to listen and to try to be objective, not be overwhelmed by your emotions. Listen to your emotions, appreciate them, understand them, especially if they come from a past situation. I spoke in some other readings that I've done about the difference between, it's like, if we think of our emotions as giving us information, they're not to be dismissed. They're very, very important to us. They're like an internal sat-nav system. You know, if a car comes careering off the road when we're walking down the pavement, the sidewalk, we need fear to tell us to get out the way. It's an alarm system. So we need all of our emotions, even the challenging ones, okay? But there is a difference between an emotional response to something that is connecting to an insecurity from the past where we were hurt, so we're particularly sensitive, we're raw to something, as opposed to what I would call an emotionally present response where our emotions are clean, clear, crisp, they're relevant to now. And identifying that difference is a very key life skill to develop in terms of our ability to navigate, well, to be honest, to be consciously co-creative. Because if we're not aware of our emotions, they start to drive us and we get a bit reactive. Again, we could be in a relationship where somebody's genuinely trustworthy, but we don't trust them. And that's to do with our issues from the past, and it's the emotional legacy of the past. You know, anyone who has experienced a trauma or any form of hurt or abuse, they will tell you the physical scars will heal. It's the emotional ones that remain. It's like a rawness, a vulnerability, and it can be activated really easily. You have an opportunity here to work through something. The message here is actually, I think, that whoever you are connected to is actually trustworthy. That may not be the case, you may be concerned about it, but I'm sort of hearing a sense of that being really true, and that the adjustment needs to be within you. We then have the 3 of air, a willingness to learn. It speaks of guides and teachers coming into our lives. Expand your mind, open yourself to new perceptions. Again, you may even be in a relationship where someone can bring about a huge amount of healing and a new beginning for you. If you have been hurt in the past, again, believe and trust. See what your dreams show up for you as well. If you've been hurt in the past and it's affecting your ability to relate to others in a way that feels secure, the person who's coming in may well be here to help you to heal. Sometimes we come together with people who really teach us those lessons. Then we have these wonderful cards which have very clear messages from the Art of Manifestation Oracle Pack. Bless your past. A useful tool to help us let go of any emotional residue that is still clinging to us from a past experience is to bless your past. Whenever the memory of an event or person comes to mind, pause and say to yourself, I bless every aspect of my past and I celebrate the contribution that it gave me in becoming the person that I am today. Course correct. If an obstacle or diversion has interrupted your plans, this card is here to assure you that the delay is providential, bringing you an opportunity to pause and to reassess in order to fine-tune your direction. Again, imagine yourself at the top of that mountain looking at everything that has happened before on your journey to bring you to the place you are today. Lean into the learning, bless your past, and believe in yourself. This is really core at the centre of this reading. You are important, you are lovable, you are special, you are a unique and extraordinary person. Wherever you have come from and whatever has happened to you in the past, it is time to let go of any negative perceptions that you may carry about yourself. Guys, I think enough said. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself. Guys, if you wouldn't be looking at this reading if you weren't on a good pathway. You deserve to receive. You deserve to be happy in relationship. Guys, celebrate yourselves, believe in yourselves, give yourselves permission. Lean into the learning and trust, and speak about your insecurities if you feel they're in the way. I believe the person that is around you is trustworthy, or there is certainly someone or the energy of people around you who are trustworthy. Reach out, and indeed, if necessary, reach out for professional support. You deserve that for yourselves. Guys, beyond belief, so much love to you, so much love. Guys, welcome to reading number 2. I'm going to move our beautiful little piece of willow up here, put it up there next to my beautiful singing bowl, and we'll look at our runes. In fact, I think we're going to place the runes in there as long as that's still in camera. So we have the blank rune. This is the rune of possibility, of the infinite sort of, I would say, the infinite possibilities that sit in the unknowable future. This is a time of change, of transition. You may feel as though you're waiting for something, but everything here is emerging. This is, it feels completely right to place that inside the willow. This is all about possibility. This is all about your deepest desires at a level of emotion. I'm literally going to say, please listen to your heart. We then have the rune of protection. This is interesting. It speaks of new opportunities, but it also sometimes speaks of those opportunities arriving in the form of challenges. Not always, but sometimes. Sometimes it says someone can kind of push your boundaries a little bit. Now again, this is interesting because it asks you to center yourself in love. Okay, so it's kind of like... how would love see your situation? If someone is pushing you, don't allow your buttons to be pressed. Listen to the emotions that are sparked in you, and listen to them as part of a guidance system. This is really interesting. This is coming through so strongly. Listen to them as part of a guidance system that allows you to make clear decisions. Okay? You may even need to go with the flow, allow something to emerge and unfold. It is as though there are possibilities and opportunities around you, but I think they're needing to emerge. Let's just see what our cards are showing up. This is interesting. Guys, new love. Okay. Lots of newness here. Lots of newness coming into the reading. Oh my goodness me. So, this is lovely. Very clear energy here, guys. Very clear messages, very clear energy. So let's talk you through every one of these cards and the message that's coming through. I think some of you are struggling, like right now, okay? I think you're experiencing quite a lot of emotional turmoil. Quite a lot of emotional challenge. I don't know whether someone has pressed your buttons. The card of gossip and drama, difficult emotions, gossip and drama. I'm going to read these first, these two, then I'm going to work my way through the reading. Difficult emotions. This card asks you to listen to your emotions. Every emotion we have is necessary and important to us. even the challenging ones. Difficult feelings are letting you know that something is not okay. Learn to understand and love your emotions and discover how they serve you. Guys, that's why my channel, my website, my library is called AZ Emotional Health, you know, the A to Z of emotional health. Emotional health underpins our physical health and our mental health. You know, if you are really stressed and emotionally charged, it will really, really create negative patterns of thinking. If you are emotionally stressed and highly charged, you are more likely to come down with a cold, to catch something. It lowers your immune system. Emotions are really important, and learning to manage and navigate emotions, understanding how they serve us, is such a key to navigating life. For anyone who is struggling genuinely, do check out the free resources. And also, I'm not here to plug my books, but Mindfulness Meets Emotional Awareness is a book where I've taken all of our most difficult emotions and talked to you, explained how they can serve us, why they're there, and the information they bring, with really concrete exercises to work through those emotions. You know, get them on side. They can become your allies. Again, the energy of Willow, it's all about emotion and the possibility that comes when we develop that space of emotional awareness. It's so unbelievably life-changing and empowering. We have the card of gossip and drama. Talking behind people's backs is one of the greatest producers of negative energy, with the potential to affect not only individuals, but entire communities. Make a choice not to involve yourself in this. It really brings about negativity in emotion. This card also asks that if you are unable to find anything positive to say, then please consider saying nothing. Guys, don't be drawn into something. This is the protection rune. Control of the emotions, working with your emotions, new opportunities, but sometimes in the form of challenge, and sometimes people push your boundaries. Either you've been drawn into something or people are talking behind your back. Guys, remove yourself from any form of drama, you know, the stuff that is going nowhere. We have the card of strife. It's knocking you off balance, and what happens is, even if you are not the person who's doing this, when you are around people like that, just the energy of it so really knocks us off our centre. Get yourselves realigned. The impact of what's going on, I'm also going to say, is not as bad as you think it is. If you're worrying about it, or there's stuff going on behind your back, you need to, it's not as bad as you think. The key here is for you to get yourself realigned and recentered. You can bring about, it's like you get to shift through recentering, and I'm going to say energy work. Let's dive here to the Archangel Michael message. Energy healing work. Thank you for sending healing energy to me and through me, for my own blessings and for all those around me. Thank you for connecting me to loving and high integrity healers and teachers of energy healing modalities. Guys, keep your energy clean, okay? Be your own hero or heroine. Step up. Be the bigger person, and if necessary, step away. There's something going on that is sort of clinging to you energetically. I don't think it's you, but there's some people around you. I'm going to say there may even be jealousy involved. Card of new love. The energy of new love is around you. Sometimes if we have been hurt within relationship, we retreat, afraid of being hurt again. This card brings a clear message and is an indication of your readiness to embrace love and to begin a new relationship. It is safe to reach out. Yeah. We've really been blessed by the energy of this willow, actually. I heard to tie this into this circle, which, as I said at the beginning of the reading, is about a request for support in finding love. And I really heard that as I was gifted this. The energy of love is around you. I think some people, if you're actually already in the beginnings of a new relationship, for some of you, I think maybe there is envy around you. And so people are sort of almost doing a little bit of sabotaging behind the scenes. Just detach yourself from it. You know, keep your energy clean. Don't be drawn into anything that's inappropriate. Just allow yourselves to, right action is the key. That's the answer for the spiritual warrior, and then everything unfolds. 2 cards here: youth, new horizons, excitement, opportunity, new directions. It also says free yourself from fear. Sometimes it's almost like this connects to this card too. Sometimes we get, if we're feeling insecure about something, or someone's pressed our buttons, pushed our boundaries, or someone's tried to put you off someone that you really like, or whatever is going on within emotions and relationships, we start to get really critical. It's fine to evaluate. The King of Water says, be calm, contemplate, retreat. Retreat is a skill of the spiritual warrior. I don't mean retreat as in run and hide. I mean retreat as in find a safe harbour. Get yourself still. Feel your way through this. Allow yourself to step above what's going on and get still and meditate. Evaluate by all means, but do so creatively. Yeah, don't be critical. Adopt an attitude of being a critique rather than a critic. Because a critic will make you feel rubbish, whereas a critique will actually allow you to identify any areas that you can maneuver, adjust. It will help you to see clearly. Critiquing ourselves helps us to step into the greatest versions of ourselves. If we don't have a critique, we just stay the same, and that's never any good, because we're designed to evolve continually. I mean, this is why I think our souls come here and often struggle within the human experience, but it's where we learn the most, and it's how we move to higher levels of consciousness. Magical reading. I'm loving this energy of new love. Wherever you are sitting, process those emotions. It's not as bad as you may be thinking it is. Don't allow yourself to be knocked off balance, and keep your energy clean. And set intentions, guys, if you know what you're looking for. If love is on your horizons. So much love to you all, and really I'm wishing to honour your pathway. So much love, guys. Welcome to reading number 3. Now, our first rune is ice. It's standstill. This often says that it's almost like the winter is upon you. You may actually feel as if stuff is happening that is out of your control and you can't do anything about it. We can feel helpless. We can sometimes feel tired. It comes with a tiredness as well. This rune asks you to shed, release, cleanse. You may need to be letting go or processing something. Connecting in with the Mercury retrograde energy, things often surface that are needing to be released, or any blocks within us that are holding us back surface and come to our attention. So there's purpose to this, this period of standstill. Sometimes we're not meant to plough forwards. And then we have the rune of the spiritual warrior. Big respect, guys. You're on that pathway, or you wouldn't be connecting to these readings. This rune asks you to be unattached to outcomes, to be patient. This isn't a time to move forwards or to push things forwards. Whatever is happening is needed, and it's needed for your spiritual development. Patience is the reward of patience. That's one of the messages in the book that I've learned when I've been working with the runes. Patience is the reward of patience. This is a time of, I don't know whether this is contemplation, reflection. Let's look at the cards. Okay, interesting. Interesting 3 cards here. Oh wow, very earthy cards we have here, guys. Very earthy energy. Decisions to be made. You have choices available to you here. Right, okay. Let's talk through this reading. Okay, clear communication is needed, but primarily you're needing to have a clear communication with yourselves in order to work out what direction you wish to work forwards to, or to work towards, or to move to. There's an issue of independence. There's an issue of, I want to almost say there's an ambivalence. That's what I'm really hearing. And by ambivalence, it's kind of like you're not sure what you actually want. You don't know whether to go forwards, whether to commit or not to commit. It's like choices here. For some of you, this will be choices within relationships. It may even be choices in more than one partner. But you're not sure. And there's an underlying anxiety around it. There's definitely an underlying anxiety around making a choice. I don't know whether that's to do with self-doubt. You're asked to travel inwards and have a conversation with yourself. This is this shed, release, cleanse. You might feel tired. You might feel that you've been bombarded. That's what I'm really hearing, with like different options, different choices, different experiences that are almost constantly giving you different messages. Almost as though you just about feel that you're on solid ground and something else changes. See, this energy of oak, I really understand the message that came with this now. The witness. Be an observer of your own experiences, just for a little while. Be patient. You don't have to rush to make decisions. I think if you rush into making a decision, then your choice may be based more on fear. That maybe fear that something won't happen, or that you'll lose someone, or it won't evolve, or that you might even be so afraid of that you might make the wrong decision that you kind of almost end up pushing yourself to have to make a decision quickly. You don't have to make a decision quickly, okay? We have the 10 of Earth, grace, the card of grace. Look within. Everything is coming together. This is a card of reward, but it's also a card of high ideals, of inner peace, of authenticity. I feel that you've been bombarded by, and this is quite interesting because it's kind of got an element of what I would call the disruptive energy of the Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde brings different forms of energy to us in different ways. It affects us differently. For some of us, it brings in sometimes quite a lot of disruption, and that can feel as though we lose clarity. We're not sure which way to turn, or literally we get up one day and decide we're going to do something, and then the phone rings and we have to change our plans completely. And then the phone rings again and we have to change our plans again. And it can feel as though we are just about coming up for air. We feel as though, gosh, we're on solid ground again, and then suddenly something happens and it feels like we're on quicksand. That's the energy that's underpinning this. And this wonderful wisdom of the grandfather energy of oak is asking you, get still and contemplate. There's a reassurance here as well. The ground beneath you isn't actually as wobbly as you think it is. It's just that things have been happening very quickly and in a way that I think has kind of thrown some of you. You actually do have a much greater strength and a much greater foundation than you are realising. Yes, you are faced with choices, but let go of any fear around the process of making those choices. Okay? This is a time of inner peace, authenticity. The only thing that's important here is that you are true to yourself. Okay? Just be still, get present to yourself. Lovely here. Seven of Earth, meditation, ground yourself, let go of stress, do a nature meditation, be in nature, connect to the earth, feel yourself, get present. That is everything that this card is asking. Literally, let go of stress, let go of any fear around decision making. It's really bizarre because I feel like there's quite a paradox here between the energy of standstill. On the one hand, it feels like something isn't moving forwards, versus the energy of things almost like you've been bombarded by changes, but it's sort of the being bombarded by changes that have been happening so thick and fast that have left you feeling like you don't know where you're going, or you're standing still, or it's kind of almost like treading water just to stay afloat. That's the energy that I'm connecting in with. And just be unattached to outcomes. Be patient. Yes, there are decisions to be made, but there are definitely rewards. The only thing you need to connect to here is who you truly are. Guard your independence, but also allow yourselves to connect with others and reach out and receive help and support in navigating your decisions. This card says independence is a wonderful attribute, but if taken to an extreme, it can border on isolation. Sometimes if we have been hurt or let down or trapped in a codependent relationship, we lose faith. That's the fear. That's the fear here in terms of decision making. For those of you that are looking at decisions in relationships, there's a fear that somehow something bad will happen. Sorry, I will go back to reading. Sometimes if we've been hurt or let down or trapped in a codependent relationship, we lose faith in others and learn only to rely on ourselves. This card asks you to question this inner belief and to develop healthy interdependent relationships with an equality of both giving and receiving. Authenticity. Be yourself. Hold your head up high. Walk tall and be your authentic self. This card asks you to shed the masks that you believed you were required to wear. Walk to the beat of your own drum and do not be afraid to shine. In doing so, you give others permission to do the same. There is so much reward here. It's really strange. This is actually a time of reward, and the key to receiving that reward is to allow yourselves to get still. Focus, as I said, get grounded. Don't try to push something. Allow yourself to let go of any fears, any concerns. Reach out for help if you need to, but really trust. Sometimes we can strive relentlessly to make something happen and then experience huge disappointment when our efforts do not work out. If we are too determined to stay on one course only, we inadvertently block ourselves from the guidance and direction that the universe is trying to bring us. This is a time to trust and to let things happen. If things outside of you are happening and it feels as though they're out of your control, trust that they are bringing you signs and signals that allow you to understand how to, in fact, move forwards with honour, with integrity, from a position of higher knowing. Let go of any anxiety that this is causing you. Become a witness to your own journey. Be present to the evolution of your own journey. This will pass. Have patience, but be alert and attentive to the signs that are being given to you in the form of potential changes in direction. Everything will come right here. Everything is going to be. This is a time of reward, but you are needing to lean into the trust. Be unattached to outcomes. Everything is happening as it should. This is a very profound part of your spiritual development. You're being asked to really lean into that. Guys, big respect. It's never easy when stuff feels as though it's happening to us from the outside in and we don't think we can do anything about it. Of course, what we can do is make a commitment to our own authenticity, you know, to the higher knowing within us. And we can get grounded and we can develop patience and grace and know that we will come through this with higher levels of integrity that really fuel our spiritual development. Guys, so much love to you. So much love.